All right. So yeah, as we were saying is, so how do you think it's possible then that, how do you think it is possible that a hater or a critic or people that typically talk behind your back, say mean things about you, haters, right?
Mm.
How is it possible then that they can be part of your team? Because that's one of the most profound ideas. When you say it like that, it's pretty empowering. But let's just break that down a little bit.
In my opinion, I honestly say haters are more loyal to you than friends.
Okay.
They motivate you because they never underestimate you. They never get comfortable because they're more prone to be loyal
Okay.
because they have more to prove.
Okay.
So I
Prove in
say
what way?
prove in a way that
Like
they
to.
can do more stuff for you. That's saying that they're better.
Do you have an example you could share without like me going too personal? Now, be as personal as you want.
Yeah.
But do you have something that you can share? You're like, oh, this happened to me one time, and that's kind of an example you're talking about. Because I get what you're saying emotionally. I'm like, yeah, I kind of get what you're saying. But do you have an example?
I say, for example, it's like when women work together, it's like a whole crab in a barrel, But sometimes
Okay, what is that? When what?
a crab in a barrel,
What is when?
when a bunch of women work together,
Okay, okay.
because they all are so emotionally unique in their own way. And I say, like,
That's really interesting.
yeah.
What do you mean emotionally unique? Because that in itself is already like, wow, that's such a unique explanation. Like I never heard of that. Emotionally unique.
Hmm. It's
That's
like,
kind of profound.
thank you. It's basically saying like each woman have their own technique, they have their own saying, they have their own look, they have their own sell.
Hmm.
They sell themselves in their own way. Like,
Hmm.
this is me, and I'm going to show you how I work, how I do business, right? So
Almost like their brand.
their
Like,
brand, their own little personal character.
yeah.
Hmm.
But emotional, and again, I get that because that's easy enough to understand. No, I appreciate you breaking it down.
Hmm.
It's like, oh, that's easy to understand. No, I mean, like, I appreciate that. But emotional uniqueness is what you said. And
It's,
that's sort of like, in
yeah,
other words, to me, if you punch somebody, you're probably upset and you're hurt and you're offended.
yeah.
That's not that unique, right?
Hmm.
If I say, hey, you look great, you're probably, and if you believe me, and you're like, this guy has good taste, you're probably going to say, I feel good about myself.
Yeah.
Like, in other words, most people respond relatively, like, not unique.
Hmm.
They're relatively normal
Yeah.
reactions. But you said something like women are emotionally unique sometimes. And that caught my ear because no one's ever said those terms together.
Yeah. For example, like, um, say me, I have a different mindset, I have a different point of view, and it's good to have other point of views as a team when it comes to business. So for example, like another woman that it's not really a friend of mine,
Mm-hmm.
but however I want that woman on my team for her different point of view, and we will never get comfortable because we don't really fancy each other, we'll never get comfortable, and i can
Fancy.
i can really rely on that woman to motivate me
Mm-hmm.
because I want to prove her something. So I will be more loyal to her, saying that she asks me for a favor. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. You get me? It's like to show her that I can be as good. I can be maybe even better. And maybe she has the same point of view. So I'm saying haters can be on your team. I feel like use your enemies. They'll do you more favors. They'll be more loyal to you than a
Mm.
friend because a friend, you can work with a friend, but they will probably get envious or maybe underestimate you.
Yeah. Um, one of my mentors said, "You need haters.
Yeah,
You
you
need
do.
them." And if you were mentioning,
Yeah,
like, and we might be talking about the same person, it's like if nobody hates you, nobody knows you,
yeah.
right? And
Hmm.
so, or you're not doing anything,
You're
right?
not doing anything right if you don't
In other
have
words,
haters.
nobody's jealous of what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I can vouch that I can vouch for that. That the more you share, like
Hmm.
this 90-day challenge, when you the day you come up with the idea,
Hmm.
the day you start day one, nobody says anything.
Nobody.
But it's when you actually build momentum
Put
that now that
action.
people
Yeah.
can say, okay, that's kind of special.
Hmm.
And in that, you're going to get some people that do like it and say, me too, or I'm inspired. And then you might have a person that says, "This guy's stupid. I hate him. I hate that he's doing this." Right.
Mhm.
And then that's where we agree, or that's this aspect of, hmm, yeah, that is interesting. Originally, I didn't want haters.
Yeah,
Originally,
you
I
never.
used to just want lovers,
Yeah, you never. No one wants haters,
but I
and
only wanted lovers.
yeah,
Yeah, do you ever feel that way?
yeah. I've always felt that way. I always like making new friendships. I always want to have someone that's loved, to care for, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, like a man like you who wants to be successful, and another man is envious of that, seeing that, like he's gonna do anything he can to bring you down.
If he doesn't have stuff to do,
Yeah,
like
because he
if
has
he
stuff to
himself doesn't have his
do.
own goals,
Mm-hmm.
because I think one person put it like that. One person put it like this. So he goes like, nobody that's doing better than you is gonna hate on you.
That's true.
So it's
That's
sort of like
true.
one of those things that. So it's an interesting topic, right?
It really is.
Okay. So momentum. So this is day 2 of this 90-day challenge. What have you experienced in the morning workouts as far as an energy level?
And
As
then
far as
you,
energy levels, your
yeah.
mindset, what you're feeling when that alarm clock goes off. Break me through that, and I'll run through some of the stuff too.
um, honestly, day 2, it creates a routine, and I feel like most people go off routine, so it's like it's based off comfort to them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just getting used to the routine, and it's been a hassle, but it's really, if you want it, it's that discipline.
Is it helping you?
It is helping me. Like I said, it gets me throughout the day, and like today we did glutes. I wasn't really feeling it,
Yeah.
but like using you as a motivation, it's like, okay, I want to be successful. I have to push myself. So it honestly, it helps.
Perfect. Perfect. Um, for me, like the stuff that I found challenging is
Yeah.
the alarm clock goes off at 6:30, 6:40.
Mm-hmm.
It's like for a split second, you get tempted to be like, I mean, what if I don't go?
Yeah, it's like,
Right? Right? But then like that's the whole thing where it's like
mm-hmm.
there's many people out there right now wishing they were getting up, wishing, and they're gonna say, "Hey,
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow I'll do it. Tomorrow I'll get up early. I'll do it. I'll do it."
Yeah.
So it's like that's why it's that real seductive energy of staying in bed. But once you actually build momentum and focus on building momentum and having reason
Mm-hmm.
to build the momentum, that's sort of the whole magic to it.
I agree. I completely understand.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so momentum, idea, haters are part of your team. Last thing about the haters part of your team, like I was taking a course, and one of the person doing the course was like
Mm-hmm.
saying like, he's like you're part of my team, and you're literally part of my team, and
Mm-hmm.
then you got your family members are part of your team, and he's like, you got all these people you're part of the team. He goes, and the haters, they're part of your team too.
Yeah.
And then that's where you start seeing like, so everyone in a way is part of your team, but who are they? What are their names? How are they giving you like this concept of a hater, right? Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't personally like I do. I think sometimes people will claim to have haters. That's like there's this like, but when rap became really big and it was like everywhere, we're like, oh, I have so many haters, and it's like some people started talking about having haters
Yeah.
before they had haters because they wanted to be like rap stars. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so then there was kind of like
They want to show
like
their value.
they want to be like I have so many
Yeah.
haters, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
no, but there's that aspect of it where it's like, okay, you want to have haters just so you could, but you haven't.
Really, like,
Yeah,
earn them yet.
yeah, yeah.
I'm not. Oh man.
That's
Oh
what I'm saying.
god.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm talking about it more like, where you could say to yourself, look, I achieved this at that
Yeah.
time. I really did experience this tension. Oh, that has to be a hater.
Yeah.
And you could have I've been very slow. I've been very slow to be like, okay, that's a hater. I've been very slow to conclude that,
Yes, but
but I've had
yeah,
to.
you use them.
But now I
You
feel
keep
like
on your
you
team.
have to
Mm-hmm.
write them down and put them on your team. Okay, but what are your final thoughts on this kind of concept?
Final thoughts, just to close this off. Like what I said, like what you said, you don't want them, but in order to be successful, to know your value, to know your growth, you're gonna have them. The more you climb up those stairs, the more haters are gonna follow you behind.
Yeah.
And you can use them to do you more favors. That's what gets you that power.
And to close this off though,
And to
how
use
do
it on your team.
you like? I have ChatGPT here, so I could ask it the question.
Mm-hmm.
But how would you use a hater on your team? In other words, that's such a the elephant in the room is, wait a minute, how is a hater on your team? How is that possible? So how would you use a hater? How can a hater be on your team? Because they're not going to say, here, I'll help you. Because even though we're saying, we're kind of jumping the gun and assuming anyone can even understand what we're saying. But like, how would you use a hater? I have my theory, and then I'll go through ChatGPT. And I'll go through ChatGPT.
So to use your haters, to use your enemies, basically, you want to keep doing what they are envious of, what they hate. You want to keep pursuing what you're doing, and they're naturally going to follow you. So since they have more to prove, since they're egotistic like that, they want to show you. And like, I was that way too, like, you know, like just to prove them, my enemy, wrong. And it's worked.
But so that's how you use it. So okay. So, I agree with that one. Mm-hmm. That's leverage. Remember we were talking about leverage? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the leverage of knowing like I'm not going to let this person be right about me. Mm-hmm. That is true. That is true. That's one way. That's one very effective way.
That's one way. Another way.
So a good takeaway is step one. Yeah. If you have somebody giving you tension, identify them as part of your team. Okay, this person is part of my team. And what better way to treat a hater to be like, I hate you. It's like, you're part of my team. And it's like, what do you mean I'm part of your team? You're in the hater team. Like, imagine how upsetting that can be to somebody. Like, so you're going to take my hate and use it for your good.
Use it as that battle. Use it as motivation.
And it's like, that's exactly right. But see how I think once you get into that conversation, it levels up the mind. You feel your brain kind of shift into another reality.
Yeah.
I feel sincerely that life is all about the shifts in the brain where now the brain goes click, I get it, like these epiphanies. And let's say we understand this moment, and watch, you're going to see it from here till tomorrow. You're going to see it. You're going to go home, you'll maybe have these energies, these doubts, like, I don't know what this person hates, like, even though we're having this conversation, even we're making this video, and they might get to you. And like, once your brain clicks and it understands it, it's almost like a workout. It's very much like a workout. The mind. It works all like muscles. Body, mind connection. Yeah, you have to keep building it to these states, just like working out builds your glutes or builds your arms or builds whatever. You get it to a state. But if you stop working out, you stop getting the results. In that same respect, whereas like we're understanding, use the hater energy to get leverage from yourself, prove them wrong, because you're not going to let them be right, are you?
No.
And so it's kind of like a leverage on yourself.
Like, for example, if someone judges your body and like you're already at the gym, you already have that mindset that it's like, okay, well, let me do more reps, you know? So it's like you already have that mindset of change. So it's like the hater is calling you fat. Okay, well, let me go change more. You get me? So it's like you're using it. It's like there's no sense. Like you're using that to get better.
Yeah. Is there another way that you can think of as to use a hater on your team? Is there another way?
Another way, usually in workforce, I say like the haters or enemies should be your number one. I keep them closer, like I said.
Really?
Yeah, because being comfortable is like the number one flaw. You know, like, because you're not thinking right. You're just getting in the moment. You're getting more emotional. Having a hater, it's like, okay, like you're on your toes. So when you're on your toes, you have more to do, more ideas, more potential.
Pressure, maybe?
More positive pressure, yeah. So you can prove them wrong and they can prove you wrong.
Let me think. What might be another way to use the hater on your team? Let me think. Like I said, people haven't directly told me too many things. Yeah. And I'm very blessed for that. Like I really treat people pretty well. where they're gonna find it difficult to tell me something in my face.
Yeah.
If someone tells you something to your face,
it's
usually
like,
it's because
okay.
it's almost like
Yeah. It's
like
what
you kind of ask for it if someone tells you something to your face,
yeah.
right?
Usually, like the haters will be like behind a camera, behind like just behind your back.
Yeah.
Nowhere near you. Or sometimes you'll hear it like from like a distance, but it'll be nowhere near you.
What do you think over there, Miss Person that's not in the room? What
My
is there?
beautiful coworker Geneva.
How would you use a hater on your team? Let's say there's a girl named Luann and she hates
Luann.
it. Whatever. Just give me someone random. And she hates that. She's kind of like low key jealous that you make such beautiful pastries, and she's saying something like, Geneva thinks she's such a good, woman with her pastries and her baked goods. Whatever. I'm just throwing something out there. How would you use that energy for your good, if possible, or you could just ignore the question? No, you don't know.
I would think that maybe she's just saying those things to be better.
Exactly.
just real chill, just kind of chill. Like, and again, sometimes that's as simple as it is. That's kind of like that confidence that sort of is. I'm trying to think how I personally use it.
Maybe for more
Like
views.
I'm going on an intrinsic level. I'm going intrinsically, almost like the psychology play by play. Whenever I sense that tension, I sort of really focus on what I'm saying and doing, and do my best not to give them an inch. Like, let's just say if you give them this fuel, it kind of gives them more leverage. It's almost similar, but it's almost like the same thing of getting leverage to perform better. But I think it's that inner voice saying, nah, don't give them any more fuel, because it's just going to, I don't know, like, let them be right. It's the same thing, but I guess it's the feeling. There's an inner feeling where it's like, it's almost like, you would. You get me? Like, so it's almost like, to me, the way I typically treat people that I feel are haters, I'm just more quiet. I'm a little bit more like,
Always never say your goals around them, because they will try to be better, but maybe you use them for that motivation that you were saying.
Yeah. All right. I think this topic is pretty good for now. I'll see you on the next video, Nicole.
Thank you.
All right. All right. So that was pretty